Savage Dragon number 37 from April of 1997, Mars Attacks. So, where to start with this thing? Mars Attacks was basically Garbage Pail Kids for boomers. Just gross cards with heinous shit that would piss off your parents, plus bubblegum. And then 30 years later, these boomers thought that it would be a good idea to make a movie off of these cards. So, Mars Attacks premiered in December of 1996. And as part of the marketing material, promotional stuff, 2 comics series were released. Mars Attacks the Savage Dragon, 4-issue miniseries published by Topps Comics, and then Mars Attacks Image, 4-issue series by Image Comics. By the time that the second issue of these series was hitting the shelves in January, Mars Attacks the movie was a box office and critical failure. $100 million on a film that grossed around $30 million in the US. So, meanwhile, these 2 series were scheduled to just keep plugging along month after month, thankfully ending in April of 1997 alongside this issue of Savage Dragon. By then, Mars Attacks was old news. So you could imagine how shocking it was to see this on the front page here. You know, the 90s were extremely cynical, especially regarding mainstream corporate commercialism. So fans saw these Mars Attacks comics as Hollywood, specifically Warner Brothers, just throwing money around to advertise their movie. You know, you don't take this stuff seriously. You certainly don't consider it part of your continuity of your favorite comic. These were just the detritus of capitalism. But with issue 37, Erik Larsen has made these books canon, or at least part of them. So I had to read all 8 issues of this crossover, and it turns out that it was unnecessary. Larsen covers everything you need to know in his own book here. However, I didn't want to consider reading this a complete waste of time, so I'll just cover the highlights of these books, starting with Savage Dragon, or Mars Attacks Savage Dragon from Topps Comics. This is written by Dwight Zimmerman with pencils by Claude Saint Aubin and Larry Malstead inking. You know, this series wasn't well regarded, but I think it has its charms, like Dragon crushing this Martian skull with his bare hands, eyes popping out. You know, I still got my trading card mint in the bag here. So the story starts with Mars attacking Earth, and, you know, Dragon fights back. It's kind of a cool double-page spread there. Then he decides to take the fight to the Martians, and so he gets Vanguard to fly him on a spaceship to Mars, where he can attack their home base. And, you know, somehow this takes 4 issues to tell, which is the biggest flaw in this thing, the length. I enjoyed some stuff, like when the aliens tried to remove Dragon's arms in issue 2 here, and he just grows back these little baby arms. I thought that was kind of funny. And then, you know, there's also the ugliest letters page in comics in issue 3 here. Earth Reacts. Just a terrible color scheme for reading. And people are writing in to complain about the movie Mars Attacks, not the comic. Here's this one. I'm 10 years old, and there are a few things I don't like about the movie. Here they are. 1, it was more comedy than sci-fi. 2, the Martians are too small. 3, it wasn't like the comic books or trading cards. 4, Tom Jones didn't get killed. The rest was very, very good. Keep up the good work. Isaac Alden, Moulton, Alabama. What kind of a 10-year-old has opinions about Tom Jones and trading cards from the 60s? No clue. Anyway, by issue 4, Dragon grows to massive size using this Martian technology, and he destroys their planet and infrastructure. Just a one-man wrecking crew that single-handedly ends the planetary conflict, forcing Mars to surrender, and he returns home. Topps looks like they were hoping to turn this thing into a spin-off for this Colleen McKay character, but you can see that, you know, they had I don't think that worked out. They had their fingers in a lot of other licensed properties here, like Jurassic Park, Xena, and Hercules, and you know, most importantly, the X-Files, which was a huge hit for Topps at the time. And, you know, they had everything for X-Files. They got the cards, they got the comics, And most importantly, they got the fan club here for $21.95. You can become a member of the fan club. So moving on to Mars versus Image Comics. I only had 2 issues of this in my collection, but I was able to read all 4 comics on a shady website that fucked up my computer. This basically features characters from all over the Image universe, and it has serious implications. Youngblood is killed. The team Youngblood. Now that Liefeld has left the company, this crossover was used to kill his team, so I totally forgot that happened. This series is written by Keith Giffen and art by Bill Sienkiewicz. So there's some talented folks working on this thing, but it just feels like a mishmash, kind of jumping around from Gen 13 to Shadowhawk to the Wildcats. Even like the Max and Witchblade are fighting the Martians. And you get plenty of other characters from Savage Dragon, like all of Freak Force, Mighty Man, Super Patriot, prominently featured, as well as Super Patriot's kids Justice and Liberty on the cover here. It goes bad for them. First, they accidentally blow up the city of Detroit, just off the map. Detroit is done, and that's canon for the book. So, and then in a more personal tragedy, the heroes are imprisoned by the aliens and treated like lab rats, basically, including Liberty, who is sexually assaulted by the Martians in order to try and produce a Martian-human hybrid. So this just takes an unexpected dark turn for the book here. But anyway, Dragon and the good guys win, but at what a cost. So after all that, we can finally get into the comic here. Where's this thing? First, I love this splash page, but let's not skip the credits. Special thanks to Andy Smith, Gary Carlson, and the folks at Top Comics. And then there's Josh Eckhorn, who drinks glasses of Mickey Rourke's bathwater. God damn. All right, Mars Attacks. Eric Larson is able to distill the bloated storyline from 8 comics into about 12 pages right here. The Martians attack, Earth fights back, Dragon goes to Mars, and he kicks their butts. The Martians flee. I'll pause on this page because it's reused artwork. Kind of cool. So this is Image, Mars Attacks image number 4 on the left here. So Sienkiewicz on the left, Larson on the right, and I'm assuming that Andy Smith penciled the original layouts, and then Larson and Sienkiewicz inked their own versions of this page. So it's just kind of rare to see something cool like that. 2 artists working on the same page. Pretty neat. So in the fallout of this attack, it turns out that fellow officers Rita and William have hooked up because they thought the world was going to end. Meanwhile, Dragon is out searching for survivors in the rubble when he's attacked by this crazy beast named Chaos and this weird dude with these butthole eyes named Control. So when he puts the horns into his eye sockets there, they become Chaos and Control. And anyway, they just beat the shit out of the Dragon, and they dump him at the feet of Cyberface. Same old problems with the Vicious Circle and a cliffhanger. So, all right, let's get to the letters page here. 7 pages, a lot of fanatics, including some artwork by Australian artist Jonathan Somariva. He's 18 here, but he would go on to work for like every mainstream publisher in America, DC, Marvel, Image Comics, IDW, and he's still working successfully today. Oh yeah, and this dude up here, Simon Mallette, he recently did a variant cover for Savage Dragon issue 272. That's 25 years later. Pretty crazy. We got a fun Sin City spoof. But that's about it. I'm not going to dive into the letters. So let's wrap this one up. And next week is issue 38.